Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of All Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what is animal chiropractic. It's not magic, it's not miracles. It just is what it is. It's the body doing what it's supposed to do. We just need to help remove interferences so that the body can get out of its way. Well, I don't believe in chiropractic. Well, that's fine. You don't have to believe in chiropractic for it to work. So if I drop this pen, it fell down. If I drop this pen, it fell down. I don't believe in gravity. Does gravity care? When I drop this pen, what's going to happen? Gravity doesn't care if I believe in it or not. That's what chiropractic is. When we remove nervous system interference from the body, the brain's going to communicate with the body better and allow the innate ability of the animal to heal, to come forward and do what it's supposed to do, because that's the way the body's made. It's why when two cells get together, they become 4, 8, 16. Pretty soon, you've got something recognizable. You've got a dog, you've got a horse, you've got whatever your pet is. That's the way it is. Chiropractic adjustment doesn't just move bones out of place and just doesn't remove interferences. But when we do that, we affect the brain. We change the way the brain works. You know, there's this stuff called white noise, and we talk about white noise. Well, white noise is background, things that go on the back. And so there's background noise. We sometimes think of it as a nuisance. Sometimes we think about it as just, hey, it's something that's going on. But if you're sitting there and all of a sudden there's a different background noise, you think about it. All right. We're in a high fire season right now. Extremely dangerous situation for fire. And if I hear trucks going back and forth down the road all the time, when I hear a chain, I'm out of my seat. I'm looking to make sure that those sparks are staying on the road and not coming into my side of the ditch. All right. I can't get to the truck fast enough to keep him from hurting somebody on down the road. Man, I want to make sure that my area is clean. And so that's what's going on. That's that background noise. What's background noise in your dog's brain? Well, it's not very important stuff like his heartbeat, food digestion, that kind of stuff. When's the last time that, you told your heart to beat? When's the last time that you said breathe? You don't do that very often because that's background stuff happening in the noise, in our brain. It's background white noise. We don't worry about it. It just happens. But when it's more efficient, then we can work better. When you got a little cold and it's hard to breathe, then maybe you do tell yourself to breathe. When your heart rate goes up, all those kinds of things, we can alter it. And why does it get altered? Because our brain says you got to function better. But if there's a disconnect somewhere between the feedback from your heart and your brain, it's not going to work right. That's what chiropractic does. Chiropractic removes nervous system interferences from the body and allows the brain to function better and your animal to be at optimal levels. That's what animal chiropractic is. Have a great day. Remember, the body only heals above, down, inside out.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Your active dog needs more than water to rehydrate. Replenish Dog Water Supplement is an all-natural powdered water flavoring, prevents dehydration and provides vitamins for your dog. Created by a veterinarian and rooted in science. Give your dog the care they deserve with Replenish.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is Animal Chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the #1 hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Standard Process is a third-generation family-owned company in rural Wisconsin. You could say we just make nutritional supplements, but we know we're changing lives. We grow ingredients on our own certified organic farm without pesticides or herbicides because we think they should be as close to nature as possible. Quality is our priority. That's why we do everything right here, from hand-picking the seeds to delivery, so you know exactly what goes into every bottle.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O. And we jumped across a couple borders and a couple time zones, and I'm here today with Dr. Sean. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Dr. O. I am Dr. Sean Lima Thiel. I am a chiropractor and animal chiropractor in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I have named my animal chiropractic practice Canine Animal Chiropractic. I've been in practice now for almost 3 years, and it was actually a year today I traveled down to Texas for my training with you, Dr. Amy.
All right. Yes. We did our, because of COVID, we did a condensed version. Not condensed. You had just as many days. You just had not as many days in between.
You know what? I may have got a few extra days, actually, right? I got to stay at the ranch for 3 weeks, which was fantastic.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely tiring. But yes, a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So, what's your biggest win with Animal Chiropractic since you got started? And I'm gonna, while you start talking, I'm gonna turn my blower off.
So honestly, my biggest win was when I went down to the hands-on event. I had it in my mind that animal chiropractic would be something I could kind of do every now and then, and make it something where I could help out a few animals here and there. When I left, I said to you, Dr. Amy, like, I actually see how I can make this a part of my career and a part of my business. And over the last year, I have been fortunate enough to transform my practice. I've put a massive emphasis into the animals, and I get to see dogs on a weekly basis who are running in because they're so happy to be there. And it's truly the best part of my day every day. I love working with people, don't get me wrong, but some of these animals who come in, the transformations that they've experienced have been amazing. Their owners are happy, and it's the best 15 minutes I get to spend with another being. So my biggest win is just how transformative it's been.
Cool. And not only for the animals, but for you and the animals and the owners too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, yeah, it helps everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and do you mind sharing your tattoo?
My little Dashie. I got this.
Yes.
I got this with a couple of my friends who were also there for the full 3 weeks in Texas. And just a spur of the moment decision, we decided to go get tattoos. And so this is my logo for my animal practice. A lot of people comment on it.
Yeah, because you said I'm going to specialize in dachshunds.
Yeah, I said that. It hasn't happened. Somehow I'm specializing in French bulldogs, which is lovely. I mean, they're wonderful too.
Yes.
I haven't seen a ton of dachshunds, which surprised me, but I'm going to keep trying to grow that.
All right. Well, and the universe brings us what we're ready for. So
exactly.
And French bulldogs. We see a lot of the Boston Terriers here in class, and the French bulldogs aren't very far away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, cool. So, any particular cases that stand out in your mind that have surprised even you?
You know what? Honestly, one of my very, very first dog cases happened because a person, and he's given me permission to share this story anywhere I want to. There was a man who came into my human clinic. The first week I met him, he was chipper and happy and outgoing. He was just in the best mood. We went through all of our testing, and we were going to do our reported findings the next week. So he comes back in, and I greet him with the same energy I had seen him last time, but I could tell he was down. So I paused and I just said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he goes, "Oh, my dog keeper, she's it's her time. We have an appointment tomorrow morning. We're going to have to say goodbye. I'm super heartbroken. She's been with us for so many years." And I was obviously shocked, and I said, "So exactly what's going on?" And he goes, "She's a German Shepherd, and she has these problems where her back legs are just giving out on her. She's not able to actually move around a whole lot. Some days she can't hold her bowel and bladder. So we've tried everything, we've gone to everyone, and no one has any more answers. So we've made the call." And I said, "Okay, I'm done here at 8:30 tonight. Meet me at my dog space at 9 p.m. because I can't promise there's going to be a massive change. However, if I can adjust your dog and it makes any sort of difference, even to make her more comfortable for her transition, I want to do that." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I mean, sure." And he brought her by. And I'm a fan of the Atlas anyway, so I did my assessment with her. Sure enough, she's showing signs of some sort of myelopathy. Her back limbs keep giving out. She stumbles every few steps. There were several places that I thought, okay, probably she's out many places, but the biggest one is the Atlas. And I prefaced with the owner, this is going to sound crazy. I know her problems with the back end. I'm only going to adjust the top vertebra of the spine. It's the most important one I can adjust. More than that might be too much for her system. So I'm going to make the adjustment. You're going to go home, give her lots of love tonight, and I'll call you in the morning. And he says, yeah, just so you know, her appointment's at 11 a.m., so call early. And I said, yep, I'll do that. So I adjusted her atlas. I sent them home. And I felt heavy, obviously, because she's clearly a loved dog, and that's a difficult time for anyone. Went to bed, woke up. I was walking my own dogs in the morning, and I thought, okay, it's time to make the call. So I call this fellow, and he picks up the phone, and he says, you know what, as a family, we weren't going to look for changes that weren't there. But if there were changes, we also weren't going to deny it. So I had a moment where I kind of held my breath, and I thought, okay, where's this going? And then he burst out being like, and we've seen so many changes. I mean, she was able to walk around the island in the kitchen. She actually went up a few stairs. She hasn't done that in months. And so at that moment, I started to tear up, and I say, really? And I can tell he's tearing up. And he just kept saying, I don't know what you did, but like, she's a different dog today. He canceled the appointment with the vet for her euthanasia. And he said, you know what, I can't guarantee that this is going to be for everything, but I'm willing to see where this goes. And at this point, this is almost a year later now. She has since gone to sleep. What it came down to was under chiropractic care, she was getting really, really, really amazing results. And it got to the point where he said, okay, if we got her adjusted every single day, probably she'd be decent every day. But it didn't work for their lifestyle. And if they missed a few days, she was sliding back. So they eventually made the call. But the thing that it really, really showed me is that I actually cannot wait to tell people that I'm an animal chiropractor, because had I met him or had I told him a week before, you have to get your animal adjusted in addition to yourself, maybe they would have had a couple extra weeks together. He was really, really, really amazed and really grateful for the extra time that we got to create. And it was meaningful time because she could go on walks again, and she was more of a happy dog before the end. And so to me, it's never too soon to start getting adjusted, because if I had been working with that dog 2 years ago, maybe she would have had a whole other year or 2 years. I mean, clearly there was a process happening, but being subluxated was compounding and making it worse. And that's now my goal. I just want to help these dogs live as full, happy lives as they can.
It's amazing, isn't it? What we have, the power of the adjustment.
Absolutely.
And I think it's easier to, and I hate to put it in this word, I think it's easier to sell animal chiropractic based on the results than it is human chiropractic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you can't show me some heart rate variability improvement, or, you know, some color differences on the thermography, or you know, a change in my x-ray after 3 or 4 visits, then, you know, it's probably a placebo, and I'm not, you know, it's really not working on me. But, you know, when we adjust these animals, and boom, you know, it's pretty easy. You know?
Well, and that's what I love about animal chiropractic is people are so in their heads about the response they should be feeling by getting adjusted, whereas animals, they have no idea what I'm doing. They don't really care to see me, and then I adjust them. They have no expectations, and they do amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's just it's why we call it show me.
Yeah,
animal chiropractic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I mean, it just works so well. We have, you know, and I had 2 dachshunds in here at the same time on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
One was a first visit. The second one was a 3rd visit, and the 3rd visit was better, but not walking.
Mm-hmm.
was kind of, but was more mobile than when it first came in. And the first lady was asking me questions, and we have an open exam room, so everybody, can hear every question that's asked. And so her first visit, she's asking questions, and the third visit, Dachshund, even though her dog is not, it could be, if we were rating on a scale of how did I do in the first 3 visits, better, but it wasn't awesome. She was answering questions about, my dog is so much better than it was when he came in. We see all kinds of answers, all kinds of good things, and she's a little bit worse today than she was yesterday. We probably should have got in a day early, but I know it costs more. You don't come in on Tuesdays, so we didn't come in yesterday, and so I was like, oh, good. So it's not just, we are doing better than we look today. And so the other lady was like, okay, so how much? You say 3 visits and we should see a difference? And he goes, that's what he says. And sometimes it's quicker. Says I've met a dachshund that came in and it was better on the second visit, and another one that took 5 visits. But you just come in and this chiropractic stuff, it works. And I'm just sitting over here taking notes. Okay. Go for it. The lady that was in for the recheck, when she got done talking to the newer lady, she goes, I hope you didn't mind. That's fine.
Actually, that's great.
So when we empower our clients, it's amazing what they can do. So which brings us up to question number 2. What do you wish your clients knew about animal chiropractic?
You know what? I wish more people knew that it was an option. And so I've been trying to do a lot of educating people, and a very similar kind of circumstance to what you're saying here is that several people who've come in, they will say, why didn't I know about this? Why didn't I know that I could actually try this? And unfortunately, it's a very niche, very small community, although there are a few animal chiropractors in the area. And I say to them, you know what, that's what I wish everyone knew. So can you please become our advocate? Go out and tell people that this is an option, because rather than waiting until things get so bad and it looks like the vet bills are going to be massive, maybe in some cases, they're just subluxated. They need to be adjusted. And I've had several people who have committed to being advocates, and they come in and they tell me, I told 4 people at the dog park this week about animal chiropractic and why their dog should be adjusted. So just realizing that there is actually choice when it comes to animals' health, and that trying what's deemed an alternative therapy is a great option because it's so non-invasive and it can have such powerful results. It's a great place to turn to, especially if you feel like you've tried everything else.
Yeah, I agree. I had and sometimes even us as doctors, we don't know, the impact it's had on the family. I remember that I saw an old Shar-Pei, had a little odor to it, had some skin issues, because that was a Shar-Pei. And the reason they brought it in was because it couldn't get comfortable and lay down. And so kind of like your German Shepherd, they thought they were going to put it to sleep. And we started adjusting it. We adjusted it for a little over 2.5 years. And about every 4 weeks, so once a month. And we got all done. I said, hey, write me a little review or do a Google review. And she goes, oh, I don't do very good on recording. She goes, can I just write it out? I said, yeah, sure. So write it out. So she said, well, so we started getting our dog adjusted because he couldn't lay down and go to sleep. Got adjusted and brought him home, and immediately he curled up in his bed and went to sleep. So, wow, it really does what it says it was going to do. And so then we noticed as we went on that his tail, which should be erect, in a Shar-Pei, had not been erect for 3 or 4 years, but that happens in old Shar-Pei, so we weren't really worried about it. It became erect again. and curled in a nice way it was supposed to. And so, wow, we had two problems. And then everybody knows that Shar-Peis have terrible ears. And, we knew that about once every 4 to 6 weeks, he'd have an ear infection. We'd have to treat it. We'd clean his ears. And you know what? We didn't have any ear infections. They quit coming up. And then kind of one of the things that I knew when he'd pee in the house. And I'd look at the calendar. At first, I was like, Chewy. And then he was like, oh, we need to go see Dr. O. And if I went 4.5 weeks, Chewy peed in the house. But if we went 4 weeks, no accidents. So we went to find Animal Chiropractic to take care of one problem. Our dog couldn't get comfortable enough to sleep. Because we weren't worried about the ear infections, the tail not being up. And even an occasional, you've got 6 dogs, and occasional urination in the house is a big deal. But all that went away with just the chiropractic adjustment.
Yeah. And you know what? I think a lot of people don't realize just what can be done for a dog by getting them adjusted. My friend has the most adorable, tiniest, pudgy little Chihuahua you'll ever see. And this thing is a totally happy little dog. And she was telling me about him, and he's 9 years old, and just a sweet dog. And I say, can I adjust him? And she's like, well, he's not dealing with any issues. He's fine. And I said, just for my sake, let me adjust him and just check to see if there's anything that might be impinging in him. I adjusted him. I always start with the pelvis. I do my exam there, and then make my way up. And I will virtually always end with the atlas. And I said, okay, let me know if he's doing okay. The next day, I got a video text message from her because they used to play this game when they would be walking outside. He would run ahead to the end of the block and then jump around waiting for her to catch up, and then he would go for the next block. I didn't know this, but in the last couple of years, he had stopped doing that, and she just thought, oh, he's getting old, he's slowing down. After getting adjusted, he started doing that again, and she was amazed because she was trying to keep up with him, but he was running like he hadn't in years. So she gets back to me, and she's like, I can't believe this, he's doing great. And this dog gets to play again in the way that makes him so happy.
Yeah, and she's going to be in better shape too, because the dog is keeping her in better shape.
Exactly.
Yeah, none of these old strolls, Mom. Come on, we got to go. Yeah, you never know, and it's just, it's very, very, it's an amazing procedure. And, I think chiropractors, in the animal chiropractic world have a little easier time not trying all the other modalities as well. We talk to veterinarians that are in the animal chiropractic world, and they're like, oh, well, we adjust and we do this and we do that. We do some cold laser and we do some, other stuff. And they ask me, what do I do? And I'm like, well, I adjust for 3 visits. We don't do anything else. We just adjust. And then we see what's going on,
Yeah.
And sometimes those 3 visits might be in 3 days. And sometimes those 3 visits might be in 3 weeks, just depending on the condition the animal comes in with,
Yeah.
But I think those 3 visits are important to really see, yes, a lot of times we get the amazing results with the first visit, with your Chihuahua and even your German Shepherd, but people need to realize it's a process, not a procedure.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me one day, we're trying to get my dog addicted to chiropractic here, aren't you? Yeah. I guess. Better than a drug.
Yeah.
So anyway, any parting words of wisdom?
I have 2 pieces of advice, and this is for pet owners who are not chiropractors or veterinarians consider chiropractic as definitely as a first place to go if there's some sort of stress your animal's going through. So if they've changed how they're walking, if their attitude has changed, I believe this is a wonderful starting place. And you know what? Let's say that doesn't change after they get adjusted. At the very least, you've taken stress out of their nervous system so that they can deal better with whatever they're trying to process in that moment. So everyone should consider chiropractic, and it should be in the forefront of their minds when it comes to their animal's care. And for any chiropractors who are out there who are thinking about getting into animal chiropractic, just do it. I mean, you will never have a patient as loving and as happy as the dogs who literally run into your office, followed by their owners who say, wow, our dog doesn't actually really like to go anywhere, but they love coming here. And it's this really, really amazing, very satisfying and very fulfilling thing that you get to share with these very wonderful beings who are literally just there to be happy and be healthy. So if it was ever a question of your mind of, should I do it? Is it worth it? It is 100% worth it. Go for it, because you will not look back and think that you wasted your time.
All right. Well, thank you. Remember, everybody out there and just listening, the body heals one way only, above, down, inside out. Nervous system controls all the organs in your body. Make sure that your nervous system and your pet's nervous system is free of interference. Go see a chiropractor today. Thank you.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.